Back when I was younger, if we go to the times where I used to play video games, like pretty a lot, there was one similar thing, one similar aspect between different video games that kept me playing them. If the game had something to actually grind for, an item, an achievement, doesn't matter. Something you had to perform in some missions, do some acts, spend some time grinding to get the certain item. For me, the game didn't even have to be like very good, very enjoyable, very dopaminergic. If it had a grind thing anyway implemented, I'd be playing it. And another interesting approach of mine to those video games, if I already got that thing and there was nothing else to like put in this hole, basically this game would be stripped out of most of fun for me. And usually, like pretty often, I used to stop playing those games after achieving the certain aspect, certain thing, certain item, certain achievement. Little did I know that it's basically what defines my approach to almost everything in life. That is part of my characteristics, that I have to implement something to grind for. So that's basically the concept of goal setting. Because today's video is not about playing video games, it's about the approach to getting better. Goal setting. Because you've definitely heard that setting the goal, setting something to achieve after X amount of time is going to help you. But today I want to break it down even more. But at first, to implement the context, if you haven't heard about the concept of goal setting or a little bit confused about it, what should you do or what you shouldn't do? Basically, there's no strict rules, and you just have to define something you want to achieve that is purposeful for you. And then after time, day after day, maybe hour after hour, maybe week after week, show up and actually do the action that is needed to perform and to achieve this goal. Why is it so important? Because we normal human beings, like there's not many of us, you have to be very advanced to be able to perform at a high level every day. Because we're not motivated, we are tired, like things happen in our lives. Some aspects we can imply our like influence on, some we can't. But every time there's an option for you to get closer to that finish point of a certain period of time, of a certain niche. But the problem is that when you don't have the clear intention inside your mind that, hey, I want to drop 10 kilos by the end of this year. Hey, I want to lift 100 kilos on the bench press. Or hey, I want to record 50 videos this year, something like that. And when the moment comes when you're confused, when you don't feel like doing the certain action, you're way more likely to fail, to actually drop, to stop working for this while, if you don't have a clear intention inside of your mind. So setting yourself a goal is like setting up your future life in the near future, so the week, the month, maybe the year, maybe the decade, while you are already like motivated, disciplined, when you are in this mood of achieving like the greatness. Because you're not always in the mood that you feel, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm able to do it. Sometimes you doubt, like negative things appear in your mind, some distractions. Like life brings a lot to the table, but there are moments when you feel like you have the control, and where you already like you actually have the control in those moments. The best thing to do in those moments is to set you for the future by setting the goals. Now it's coming the right time to do so, because the year is ending, so we can create a new year resolutions that will actually work. Like for me this year, I've set myself 2 goals for the entirety of year 2024. One was to do 100,000 push-ups, which right now I'm around 97,000, so it's gonna be succeed. And to read the entirety of a Bible, and it's also gonna be succeed. I'm at the very end, reading the letters. And I believe that those two goals, one thing, they definitely helped me to actually stick to the action. The thought that I've set to myself and to others, which what we'll talk about in a while, that I'm gonna do those two things, set me accountable for the entirety of the year. Like, let's talk about those push-ups because it seems very hard. I month after month, I used to gradually improve the amount of push-ups I used to do, and it actually worked for me, even though there were times where I couldn't or I didn't want to do so. More like I couldn't because I've suffered two injuries this year. One putting me off this challenge for a week, and one putting me off this challenge for, I believe, like 3 weeks, while I couldn't do normal push-ups. So this 1 week period, I just waited, and it was soon, like last month. So I've already known that I'm able to fulfill it. But the previous injury was in spring, so I couldn't do a normal push-up. My forearm was broken, actually. But after some time, I was able to do some set-up push-ups in the way that this one forearm was less stretched by putting his hands on the couch and doing a little bit untidy push-ups, still struggling to normally function with my arm a little bit destroyed, but I've still done the push-ups because I knew that I want and I need to succeed in that. And guess what? My chest worked, and I've seen the results. After getting back from the injury, I haven't lost that much of strength because I work on that usually like day after day, even though I basically couldn't. And that is something you wouldn't achieve if you have no goal. That is something I wouldn't be doing if I didn't have the intention of doing 100,000 push-ups this year. But let's come back to let's put on the main idea of today's video, because you probably know about goal setting as an idea, as a way to progress, basically. But are you sure that your goals that you've had for the previous time, or maybe that you have in mind right now as you're listening to my video, listening to me talking and getting hyped up that, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this the next year so I get better. Are those goals hard? Are they hard to achieve? Ask yourself this question. Are those goals you have in mind, or those like simple concepts, maybe you didn't have a clear intention of, okay, I'm gonna do this, but you thought about, maybe I should focus on my weightlifting journey this year, and you had like these flashes of, okay, maybe I should do this or that. Those things should be hard to achieve. Because if those things are easy to achieve, for example, if I said that I want to record 50 videos on this channel next year, well, I've basically been recording every single week at least one video for the last year and a half, I believe, something like that. So it's basically 52 weeks in a year. If I maintain my level, which right now brings me not so high value, so high numbers, as you can see, not so high frequency, not so high like achievement of people being able to listen to my advice, I would stay on the same level. The goal of 50 videos would be basically no progress at all. Or if I would stick to it like perfectly, only 50 videos, I would regress. So it's not a good goal. A goal of yours should be challenging through the entirety of the time, or most of the time. Like sometimes it's hard to calculate, of course, like with my 100,000 push-ups, I didn't know, and I felt like it's gonna be very, very fucking hard. And it was, but I've been able to, through vacation, overdo, put more effort, and right now I'm in a stage where I'm certain that I'm gonna achieve it, and I don't have to struggle that much. And it actually made me complacent. As I've said about those video games, when the goal is achieved, that fun, that grind, that my investment into this grind is gone. And right now, as for those push-ups, they're not ended, but I can do those 3,000 push-ups within a couple days, and I have half a month for it. So I've got complacent. I have to say, because it's already done, and that's how I work. And maybe not to this extent, maybe even more than me. You work similarly too. So we have to make sure that the goal is gonna squeeze the work out of you, even in the days where you don't feel like working on that certain thing, or a week, every single time. So a goal has to be hard. That's like the main idea of today's video, because there will come the time of making New Year resolutions. You will find the idea of goal setting somewhere else, maybe like hear about it again. I want you to recall that setting a goal is not enough. You have to set a goal that's good. And the goal that's good, main criteria is being hard. But there are also more things. One of the things that I want to talk about you too is the main idea of the goal, like what the goal puts the focus on. Because if my goal would be to achieve 1,000 subscribers until the end of the next year, maybe I would succeed, maybe I would not. Even if I would record a video every single day, maybe my account would get shadow banned. Maybe, I don't know, I would get normally banned because I would say something that I shouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't get viral, something would happen. Like the niche of self-improvement would go down the well because something else would take over. People who want to actually develop in their lives, but something else would come to mind, and I wouldn't be able to perform it as good. So I can't tell that I'm gonna be able to achieve a certain number. That's not on me to decide. On me is to decide how much work I'm gonna put. So if I set a goal of recording 100 videos next year, that's something I am in control of. And the goals should be in something that you can control. Of course, you can have in mind this outcome, the thing that should come with it, that may come with it. It might even motivate you. And it's a good idea to keep in mind that, hey, if I record 100 videos, I'm way more likely to achieve this 1,000 subscribers or something. But the main idea of the goal, something you note down if you want to keep track of your progress, is the action. So make your goals action-oriented. It will help you not get lost and not get demotivated by the lack of results at the very beginning. Because remember that it's not a linear function, time to progress. It's not like that. At first you have to spend a lot of time while achieving almost nothing, but after some time it will be rising. But if you set a goal that you want to achieve a certain number, or maybe you set your goal on your weight, your scale, something like that, it might be working, but maybe something will happen and you'll get sick, and the numbers are going to trash. And if your goal was to eat healthier, and you actually create a measurement method for that, maybe tracking your calories, maybe tracking the amount of unhealthy foods, unhealthy meals you've had in the week, that's like, even if you get ill, it's not gonna go down. It's not gonna get destroyed. You still can eat healthy. And even though, let's say you put on some weight or you lose weight while you try to put on, you still keep track of your own actions. And when you get better, your own actions will still work for you. So to sum it up, set a goal, check whether or not it's hard enough in your criteria. You have to believe that you are able to achieve it, but at the same time you have to know that you're gonna have to put a lot of effort into achieving it, because otherwise you get complacent. And perfectly make those goals action-oriented and not outcome-oriented. Now you know everything you need to know, and go make your way to a better future.